joined by Duane Janiskevich with, he is an amazing guy, and I have to tell you how we met first. A couple weeks ago, I was at the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists, and Duane was doing a presentation there. And when everybody walked out of your presentation, it was like, we need to book Duane to come talk to our group. And I think you did very well at this presentation.
Yeah, you know, it actually was a very small group. But the big thing I'm after is the impact. And I could tell people were really impacted by what I had to say. And that's really why I do what I do, is because, well, I guess to start off with, I had an injury 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you haven't noticed, it's my hand.
Yeah.
And it's something some friends of mine said, you should go into motivational speaking. Like, you got to tell people about it. And I was like, you know, it's really only a couple of inches. Like, is it that big a deal? But really, it is a big deal. And people don't think about the impact of their actions sometimes. And so that's what I really try to do through my presentation is think about the little decisions that you make that can have a huge impact on your life. It turns out, like, I always wanted to be a speaker. I always wanted to do this. In fact, I got into teaching because I wanted to be presenting all the time. And so I taught for 5.5 years. And after that, I got into IT. And actually, when I was teaching, I was an industrial arts teacher. So I tell people, do I look like your shop teacher? I mean, some of the problem is people get complacent. And when you're used to using a tool for a long length of time, you say, well, I'm not worried about this anymore.
Yeah.
When I first started teaching IA, I was worried. I was concerned about every tool I had because I was scared of it. Now, the fear needs to change to a respect over time. But in my case, I just got complacent, which is disrespect. And I wasn't teaching any longer. I remember telling my wife after 5.5 years of teaching, I said, 5.5 years, and I got all my fingers. I remember saying that. And this happened 10 years after that. You know, but it's because I was complacent. I did something that I knew was dangerous, but I still did it in order to save some time. And a lot of the organizations that I speak to, all their workers, they know about safety. They've heard it time and time again. Yeah. But it's about making it real, making them understand what happens to me, what happens to my family, how does this change my life? Yeah. And in my case, I can actually say it's been extremely positive. Yeah. It's been something that has changed my life for the better. I think I'm a better guy because it happened, but it's a painful process to go through. And if you don't have to, learn from somebody else's problems. Yeah.
Earlier when we were talking, you talked about the cliche of live life without regrets.
Yes, I have another presentation called Unleashing the Power of Regret. So people now say, oh, don't regret anything, like do everything you want. But there's all kinds of regret out there that you're going to be attracting. But it's about using that regret and trying to figure out why it's bothering you. So people came up to me and said, like, how did you go through this so easily? Like, you just seem to have this injury and you never skipped a beat.
You're a speaker, professional speaker.
But it wasn't at that point, you know, and it was hard. I said it wasn't easy, it was difficult. And I started figuring out what I did differently than maybe some other people are doing. And really it's about the lessons that we learn in life. It's about taking that regret and saying, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? Yeah. What is it telling me? What should I be doing differently? And it's about making that change.
Yeah, that's good for you. Now, you have got these 2 presentations, and you are booked, I think you're getting booked up quite fast to get out there. To what kind of companies are you presenting to?
I've spoke to SAS Power a number of times throughout the province. I've actually been on every corner of this province, and just recently I got a couple engagements out in Ontario. Within the next couple of weeks, I'm heading up to speak for Riva at their uranium mines. And it's just really been a neat opportunity. And I mean, it doesn't come just organically. You have to go out there and you have to be an entrepreneur about it. You have to tell people about your message. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to come here and share.
Well, I knew that when I left the presentation, when you were done, and there were groups that walked out and they were just writing down your name and taking your card, and because I think you did such an amazing job and you speak with such emotion, and something has happened. So you're like, you know, you show them. I don't know.
Well, it's really, I've kind of learned my craft, I guess you would say. Like, through teaching every day, you're always presenting. And then I just wanted to make it as real as I could. And I used to say, oh, I shouted no as loud as I could. Now I do it. Like, I'm just vocal about it, and it makes it not a boring safety presentation. It's real. It's vivid. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Duane, for coming and joining us. And it was, I wish I could have stepped in on that conversation. But if you want to hear more from Duane, you maybe need to hear a safety presentation from you. Stopcuttingcorners.ca.
Yeah,
and then you also have Unleashing the Power of Regret.
Yes.
So thank you, Duane.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got, we're going to talk about Mosaic. So we've got John here and talk about a Festival of Cultures.